All right, next one is the Press Plus. Everybody has reviewed it. We're not doing anything at this time.
There were only a few comments submitted, and the primary comments, one on 6:310 were just edits. And Kristen and I can go back, because that was a curriculum one, just to make sure it said requested. And then our family medical leave was written by our attorneys, 5/185, and that was just a few minor updates, but it's everything was solid with that. And then Mr. Walsh had a couple comments which I think are more for the board to discuss in regards to 2:140, in regards to whether or not the board should be using the district-provided email for their Friday updates and board packets from the superintendent.
It really wasn't that. It was how are we going to accomplish what I thought I was reading there, that somehow you're going to make sure that all the board members see all the emails that are received by one board member. That's what the new policy says, that
I think where you're, maybe
you're
there's
gonna
some
somehow
confusion.
circulate.
There might be a little confusion. We have a Board of Education web address
Right.
on our webpage. So I think the important thing was that maybe to make sure that the board received, if the copy of all the emails that were submitted. I can do that in a Google form and just maybe include that in the weekly update with no.
I might be confused, but I don't think that's what it says.
But then the next thing, the next section that I think you're referring to is that if someone submits a question, the board should be able to all see it so that there's no.
It wasn't just question, it was communication. It said that if one board member receives any communication through email, all the board members should be made aware of it.
Right.
And
It's the matter of discussing it then and people replying, which is why you usually see the message of please do not reply.
Right. So, but it's both ways. So if for some reason, a couple of community members send Gary and me an email about some issue, but they don't send it to John and Laura, the way that's written, you've got to make sure that John and Laura see the emails that we got. And I just want to know if you considered how you're going to accomplish that. One way they said to do it is have one email address that all the board members shared, and they could just access it and read it. The other ones said that you would make on a meeting basis, you would make all the emails that were sent to any board members available to all the board
That's
members.
depending on what you guys would send in. I mean, the only way to know that is if you shared that you got this email.
That's my point, that the
Once-
policy says we're going to do something that, unless you got Mike or somebody to, pull all the emails off us and circulate them around, I don't know how you would accomplish it.
Well, if you get an email and send it to Kevin then.
Please share with the board.
would
I'll
share
save
with
it
the
till the
board.
next board agenda pack and just copy it and put it in
But-
the board pack.
Again, that is not what the policy says is going to happen, and then you're relying on me or whomever to actually do it. You have to have a technological way of accomplishing it.
We
in
should
my
post
mind.
it on a board then and not have any email.
No, I
If
think
everybody
we're
has to
looking-
see all communications.
I think we're looking a little too far into that.
Well, let's refer back to
Because
the
if someone
policy
emails
committee
Tim
with that.
Walsh personally, the only way there is some responsibility that Tim Walsh to share it with the superintendent to say, please share with the rest of the board. I don't think the board wants the technology department scanning.
Well, you can. That's true. Our practice is we're supposed to do it. Has it always happened? I don't know. Every time I've gotten an email, I assumed other people got them. I have not sent every email I ever received in my email to you and say, please make sure everybody else got them. I doubt if anybody else did, because I've never had one circulated to me that said, Matt got this email, everybody else needs to know about it. So
And again,
the policy, the way it's going to be adopted, says that has to be accomplished.
that's the recommendation from Press Plus.
Okay.
If we feel that the way we've been operating, where we CC the board and say do not reply, save for a meeting until we can reply all, I think we've been actually, for the last 4 years, been operating really well on this. When somebody submits a question, they include the board and say, please do not reply all till our next meeting.
Again, I'm
So
not
maybe
worried
we-
about.
maybe I can reword
I'm not worried
this.
about that. I'm worried about just random or whoever emails that board members get, not because
Right.
it's agenda item or something, and the policy is making a duty that they get circulated to everybody, and saying, please remember to email them, in my mind, isn't going to accomplish that. So I'm suggesting that either we have.
Well, I think, doesn't it say right under number 2, if contacted individually, board members will refer the person to the appropriate level of authority?
You know what, if you don't mind, let's table it. I didn't highlight the exact language.
All right, so let's-
Yeah, we are tabling it, so if you want to send
We're
me
not-
a highlight of where you want me
I'm
to
gonna
read, I can go back to
explain
Mike
it.
and
I already did. I can show you what I'm pointing at, that we're missing the.
All right,
point.
so if not, just send it to them and that policy will look at it again, come back.
Do we need legal counsel on that?
Well, you got Jepson on there, he's a legal counsel, isn't he?
No.
No?
He's
He's a
not
board
legal
member.
counsel to the board.
Okay, well, whatever. They can recommend.
You never thought I was your legal counsel, did you, Matt?
No, I would never do that because you're not in the school
Yeah.
thing, so.
Well-
If I had to deal with a gas line, yeah, but not, maybe with a gas line for construction. All right, so we're going to refer that back to policy on that one, and they'll come back to us.
Ed's not here, and I know Mike, we all saw your comments, Tim, so I'll talk with Ed and Mike and have a recommendation on 240 for the next meeting.
Okay.